I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 194. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there if you're looking for more gaming goodness. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Dan, the biggest news in gaming history, in my opinion, dropped this last week.
The actual sequel to Super Mario World has been released?
Yeah.
Announced?
Back in 1996, called Super Mario World 2.
That doesn't
Yoshi's
count.
Island.
That doesn't count.
It's called Super Mario World 2, all right? That is a sequel.
A lot of games are called a sequel. It's like a red herring just to get you to buy the game.
Well, that game was fantastic, though. Even though the baby crying was terrible.
I thought the baby crying made it was terrible.
No, you can't even.
It was terrible.
Don't even tell me that was a high point of that game. It was not. No.
It made you want to get that baby faster.
Yeah, that's true. The urgency was there.
It was annoying.
Bigger than that, Dan.
I don't think anything can be bigger than that.
If you can fathom, bigger
Uncharted
than that.
5?
Bigger than that. Bigger than Uncharted 5.
Get out of here.
Bigger than Metroid Prime 4. All right. Bigger than a new Halo game. Bigger than a new Final Fantasy game. All right.
Bigger than Dreamcast 2?
Bigger than the Dreamcast 2.
Well, really 3 because the original Xbox was Dreamcast 2.
Bigger than all of that, Dad. Half-Life. There is a new Half-Life VR game entitled Half-Life Alyx that got announced last Thursday, and the internet went wild.
It's here. You're getting a sequel. Well, a prequel kind of because it takes place between 1 and 2, right?
That's right. That's right. So you play as Alyx, who was she was an NPC in part 2. She kind of helped you out with some stuff. She had a giant robotic dog that, you can go ahead and play with dog and learn how to use the physics gun and all that. And you'd run around with her for a little bit. She was an awesome character. She is in this new game. You basically play as her. It's a VR game. Insane. So it's not Half-Life 3 like people want. But it is a new VR game, and the internet is going wild over this.
You still can't see your arms.
You still can't see your arms, but you can see the hands.
You can always see your hands.
No, it depends on the game. Some people are saying, like, don't show the hands, don't show the arms, don't.
I need to see the hands. It's a VR game. I got to see something.
Because you want to see what you're trying to grip.
You want to see, yeah.
Exactly.
But you should see the arms like it's like in a first person view.
Right. I mean, ideally, I would like to look down and see my body and be like, okay, this is my place in the world.
Because in every VR game, you're Rain Man.
Kind of, yeah.
You can't see. You have no arm.
Yeah. Wait. Rain Man? You mean Hollow Man?
No, Rayman.
Oh, Rayman. I thought you meant Rain Man.
No,
with Dustin Hoffman.
What?
I was like, no. Wait, do you mean a Hollow Man starring what's his name?
No, you still can't see your hands because he's invisible.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Rain Man just has floating arms.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. That's right, in Hollow Man.
Yeah.
Good pull.
That was a good movie.
It was a pretty good movie. Yeah. They end up making him come to life because I think they turn on the sprinkler system. And then they
set him on
rain.
Yeah, and they set him on fire.
That's right. Oh man, I gotta watch that movie again.
Well, just as a side note, we got a trailer for The Invisible Man recently. Mm-hmm. Right, it's sort of like they made it into like a horror movie.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
it's not going to be in the Monster World cinematic universe. And Johnny Depp's not a part of it. He was supposed to be the original Invisible Man.
Interesting. Yeah, he's definitely fallen on some hard times. But
yeah.
Huh.
I don't think he's allowed back in Australia. A little inside baseball right there.
Well, I can tell you I'm sufficiently hype, even though this is going to be PC exclusive, even though this is only going to be for like the HTC products, right? The Index and the whatever else. So that being said, I'm still hype.
Can it be a system seller?
HTC yes. That's 100% yes, Dan. Half-Life is beloved, all right? Everybody loves everything about Half-Life. They love Portal, the spinoff. They love Team Fortress 2. They love Half-Life episode... Well, Half-Life 2, and all the subsequent episodes. Episode 1, Episode 2, even though it left off at a cliffhanger. And people still want Episode 3 or a Half-Life 3 to continue the story. But... yes, fans are sufficiently hype. They love this stuff.
And you know what else fans are crazy hype for? Crazy hype. It's gonna be one of the top movies
of next year.
And that's the Sonic movie.
Oh yeah. We've talked about it at various lengths. We talked about it, I think, like last week and the week before, maybe.
Well, now people are hyped because they got the redesign. We got the new Sonic. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, it looks just like old Sonic.
Looks like old Sonic. Now, here's where my opinion differed a little bit. Okay, I said, listen, the movie's done. If the movie's done,
right,
don't redesign it just to please the fans. Just let me see your vision. Just live or die off your vision. It sucks. It sucks.
Right.
But they delayed the movie because it was supposed to come out this month, November. They delayed it to February. I think February, right? February, March, something like that.
I think that's right.
So it's like, okay, you delay it like 3-4 months because you're going to do a whole big redesign.
Right.
Now, we found out that the movie wasn't done. The Sonic, as we saw it originally, wasn't rendered in all the scenes. Just the trailer that we saw.
You know, it's a thing I didn't necessarily think about at the time, but typically, like for movies like this, they'll get the trailer out way ahead of the movie, right? And they'll kind of cut it together with scenes that they have. They'll put it together. You know, tons of people will sign off on it, and they go, okay, here's what we got. So as far as the CG went, most of the CG that was done specifically for that trailer. It wasn't like fully complete. So they still had a lot to go to get this done.
It reports that it cost $35 million to do the whole redesign, which was wrong.
Definitely not true. Yeah.
It was only $5 million. It
was about
which it sounds weird saying only $5 million.
Yeah, right. You know,
$5 million is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have that in your back pocket, then?
No. I have a client that does.
Okay,
I have a client that calls sometimes and it says, "Dan, I have too much money in their bank account. I need to lend."
Help me out.
Yeah. So all right. So knowing these facts, that it didn't cost a lot, only $5 million, which is nothing, in the realm of making a movie.
Right.
A movie like this with CGI, that all they had to do or really do is fix the stuff that they had in the trailers, and they can render they can render the whole movie literally from scratch with Sonic with the new design. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, and it looks great.
It does. And the tone of the trailer was so much better. Right, they didn't have the Coolio song in there. It was definitely a little bit more goofy.
That just didn't fit. He's probably still on the soundtrack though.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so knowing these facts, I'm okay with the redesign. I was just totally against it.
And I think you brought up a good point that you don't want to have all these developers working overtime and doing all this stuff just to fix a fuck up on somebody in the higher up said, yes, this is the direction we want to go with Sonic. And nobody spoke up in the boardroom and said, that's a bad idea.
Well,
nobody raised a hand.
As a side note, we didn't talk about this. The guy who did Sonic Mania, he had a hand in the redesign.
Christian Whitehead?
Yeah, he had a hand in the redesign. So good on you.
The man is a genius.
Good on you.
The man is a genius.
I think, does this confirm Sonic Mania 2? I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it.
Well, definitely. I mean, Sonic Mania 2, I think, was a foregone conclusion because...
Yeah, but all this goodwill, right? Like,
that too. Yeah.
He helped in the redesign of Sonic for the movie.
Is that going to be the movie tie-in game?
Could be. You never know. You could be.
If they managed to work the universe into Sonic Mania 2 somehow, I honestly wouldn't be upset.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think this is the one time Sonic beat Mario. The Sonic movie looks better than
Right? It's going to get a better
movie.
Rotten Tomato score than the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Low bar.
Very low bar. You could walk right over that bar. It's so low.
All right, let's get into the notable games coming out next month. Not a lot coming out. This isn't like the last 2 years where we had Xenoblade coming out in December.
And Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers coming out last year. And we'll talk a little bit more about Smash Brothers later on the show. But let's get into it. We have Life is Strange 2, Episode 5.
This will be the end of the trilogy? Or the end of the
episodic. The end of the episodic Season 2.
Okay.
I think so. I think this is the end of it because it's usually 5 or 6 episodes. So I think this is the end of it. It's coming out PS4, Xbox One, PC on December 3rd. Also on December 3rd, terrible rated game by IGN, Terminator Resistance, come out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Does this have anything to do with Dark Fate? No?
No, I don't think so. No.
So too bad Terminator properties that have come out.
But I think this scored right along with Death Stranding. 6. I think he got like a 6.
Oh, Jesus.
5 or 6.
Controversial.
Yeah.
We'll also be talking about Death Stranding a little later.
Well, exclusive to Stadia, which we'll talk about a little. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff later.
Yep.
Darksiders Genesis, launching on Stadia first. The Stadia NPC, December 5th.
Right. So in the Darksiders universe, right, which there has been
4 Horsemen. We have 3. We already have 3 Darksiders games out.
Right. Darksiders Genesis is like a spin-off, or is it like brand new? Is it technically Darksiders 4?
Twin stick shooter.
Okay.
It's technically Darksiders 4, right, with the last Horseman.
I see.
Hopefully the next game was sort of, well, everyone is clamoring for like the next game, probably not going to be numbered, to have all 4. You could play maybe as all 4 Darksiders, or you could choose which one you want, right? But they come together essentially. Right, that makes more sense.
So this is a timed exclusive, or
yes, timed exclusive. It will come to consoles next year. But this is launching on Stadia.
Nice.
And PC.
That's something.
It's something. They're gonna. Well, we're gonna talk about it. They need something. They need all they can get at this point. Assassin's Creed: The Rebel Collection coming out on the Switch December 6th.
Nice. I like it.
And Hearthstone.
Descent of Dragons, yeah,
it's coming out December 10th.
Right, and I think this is the new content they talked about at BlizzCon this last October. So it's good to see they're still keeping this property up, right? I mean, Hearthstone's a good game. It does have some microtransactions, but you can play the game without it, like I did. You know, you can grind out for coins and all that. It's still fun. Nice to see there's like more stuff coming out. Probably not going to play this. You know, my Hearthstone time has come and gone, and my decks are severely underpowered now, probably. So
I don't ever think I had a Hearthstone time at all.
It wouldn't be your kind of game. It's a card game. It's a collectible.
It didn't even come for it to go. So.
Right.
And something. All right. So let's try. I'm trying something different. Not a notable game, but a notable game tie-in.
Yep.
Coming out next month, and that is The Witcher, coming out on Netflix. It'll be out December 20th.
Yeah, you can binge watch this over the holiday break, which is fantastic. Super hype, Mr. Cavill, who is a gamer who does love the Witcher universe, who specifically said, "This is the thing, I want to be a part of this," and he made it happen. You know. I'm sure it was a lot more deep than that. He had to go in for casting and all that, but
he lobbied for this. He really wanted this.
Yeah, and it looks great. I'm kind of hype. I don't know about you.
No, I'm super hyped. It's more fantasy or less fantasy, right? No, more like horror. It's going to be a little bit more horror,
right?
Not less, like magic and stuff. It's not going to be Harry Potter,
ish. Right.
It's going to be a little bit more grounded down to earth. So,
which is okay. Like I think if they come at it with a good script and good directors and all that, like you have a good crew around you, like you can make this work.
It's going to be less fantasy, a little bit more horror, a little bit more action. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to binge watch it. But
same.
When he got the role, everyone, because Ben Affleck had sort of Batfleck. He sort of bowed out of doing Batman.
Right.
So everyone thought that, okay, Henry is going after The Witcher.
Right.
There were reports this is it for him as Superman. He has officially said he is not done as Superman. He's not given up the role. I don't know where they go from here because they just screwed everything up. I mean, we don't have a Batman.
No.
They have a new Batman that they're working on with the Twilight vampire.
Right, Pattinson, yeah.
Robert Pattinson. I think it's Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, yeah.
He's going to be the new Batman. So they're going younger instead of going older. I mean, what is Superman going to get hit in a time warp when he goes back in time or something? I mean, like, how is this going to work?
Look, I don't know. DC's got their heads up there. You know what?
They got two Jokers. One is a gangster. And one is a psychotic, crazy person.
Yeah, it's literally all over the place. There is no vision. They need the Kevin Feige.
They need a Feigster.
Right.
They need a Feigster.
Right. If they have that, then you can start to get things back on track.
Well, I don't even know how they could get that on track. Everything is done. The damage is done. Yeah.
Well, you gotta almost start fresh.
It's like the Giants, Knicks, Rangers. Like, the damage is just done. They're terrible. It's just terrible.
That's why you get a new QB in there, right? You get a new Kevin Feige in there, and it's rebuilding time, and you kick out all the stuff that doesn't work, which is most of it.
Well,
and then you.
There were reports that we got it was official. We had a sequel to the Joker, but everyone now is walking it back and said, "I don't know where you get these reports, but it's not going to be a sequel to the Joker. At least it's not official. Obviously, the studio wants it because they want to make the money.
Right.
But I don't know where you would go See, this is where I said when we talked about my hypothetical, having a Joker origin story, right? That's one thing. You can't make a Joker after the origin story. There is no Joker sequel, right? Now you have to jump into the relationship of him and Batman.
Yep.
Now you jump into him just being a straight up bad guy, and and he's involved in the Batman universe. I don't know where you would go. I don't, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I don't know where you would go with a sequel because what made that movie so special is seeing the evolution of him just being crazy and what makes him go over the edge.
I think it's kind of interesting. I would be interested to see a Batman Joker movie from the point of view of the Joker, right? Obviously, you can't necessarily have the Joker win. The good guy has to kind of win in the end. But to see, like, the behind the scenes of, like, how the Joker is setting up all these things to terrorize Gotham, right? That'd be, like, kind of neat. Because you always see it from the superhero's point of view, right?
We do.
You always see, like, oh, this person is doing this thing. But you don't see what they're doing behind the scenes to kind of terrorize
Torturing people.
Well, I mean, sure. Yeah. But just, like, kind of getting in the head and the mind and, like...
torturing people.
Because, like the great opening scene in The Dark Knight, right? When we get to see like the Joker breaking into the bank.
That's true. How did he plan that out? You want to see from his point of view? How did he plan that out? How did he make that happen?
Yeah, and like we kind of did see a little bit of his thought process, like him dressing up as like one of the Joker's cronies, as like I'm in the middle of this, and then you just like kill the rest of your crew, and then get out with your armored car. Was like beautiful. I'd love to see like a whole movie like that. Like, how did all that come to be? Oh, it'd be great.
But it wouldn't work unless Batman was in it.
Oh, no, of course. So that's what I'm saying. Like, have the Batman in it, but
they couldn't do that with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker because Batman is a kid. He's not even.
Yeah, again, sometimes you just have to like, okay, this is going to be the point of origin, and we'll make everything else work around it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's easy, but
okay,
I'm not saying it's easy.
I just. They have a lot of work to do if they want to make a good sort of cinematic universe. And as much as Henry Cavill said he's still Superman, they may have to kibosh that and reboot.
Possibly, yeah.
Right? Because he was Superman. Superman was Diesel, man. He was jacked.
Yeah, as he should be, I think.
Really? You think Superman should be that jacked? You think he should be jacked?
I mean, not like The Rock in Furious 8.
All the Supermans that we've ever had prior to Henry were sort of just regular size.
Brandon Routh had a decent physique to him,
but he was still sort of slim.
I guess
he wasn't The Rock. Henry Cavill is jacked.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with. I don't know. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with.
Well, look. Okay. Well, what makes it hard to make a Superman tying it back into video games? What makes it hard to have a Superman video game and movie simultaneously is because Superman is just so powerful.
Right.
Right. What makes Batman great is he's just a guy.
Right.
With gadgets.
No
matter how jacked he is.
He has money. Yeah.
But no matter how jacked he is, he's very flawed mentally, and he's just a regular guy with gadgets.
Yeah. That's what makes Batman, I think, the best superhero.
Yeah. Well, Superman is just he's just all powerful.
He's got X-ray vision. He's got heat vision. He's got super strength.
But the way
super speed.
But the way they
he's impenetrable to bullets. I mean, it's
but the way they sort of not humanize him, but sort of downgrade him a little is that he's holding back.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to let off his full power. Right.
Because which doesn't destroy the universe.
Which kind of doesn't make sense when you're getting beat up by a more powerful being like Darkseid or somebody or what's the guy that breaks his back and kills him that comes from. He was in this Batman v Superman.
Oh, Bane.
No, not Bane. That's Batman's.
Batman v Superman. It's Darkseid.
No, Darkseid is
Luther? No,
not Luther. Doomsday.
Oh, yeah. Doomsday. Sorry,
it was Doomsday.
Sorry, I haven't seen that movie in a while. Then,
but still, I think they need to just reboot. Just reboot.
Yeah.
Just Henry Cavill should just worried about being the Witcher and maybe another video game character. That's Superman.
I mean, if the Witcher series does well, for sure,
he's definitely have something in his hands. I think it already got greenlit for season 2 already, and it's not even released yet.
The Witcher?
Yeah, wow. I think so. I think I read that somewhere.
Going hard on that. Very nice.
But Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
This week is no different, Dan. That's okay. That's okay, because it is the favorite part of my show. The favorite part of part of the show. My favorite part of the show.
Yes.
I have been playing Dragon Quest XI, and
you still haven't beaten that game yet.
I still haven't beaten that game yet.
Are you playing it on hard?
There is no hard.
There's no difficulty. It's just regular hard.
It's just regular hard, and the game isn't that hard really, but. I will say this. I thought I was done with the game, and I mentioned this before. I thought I was done with the game, and it turns out I was only halfway through the game. So knowing that, I was looking at the bestiary, and I'm like, I haven't met like half these monsters. Like, wait a minute. And I realized, you have to play in the whole second half of the world. So I do have my party back. I'm ready to go. I got my flying dragon riding around on. It's beautiful. I can see the end in sight, and only a couple more things. I have a feeling I'm going to beat it after this recording. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to say, and I know I've said it before. This time next week, I will be back into Death Stranding. Yeah. That game is fantastic.
Okay.
And I got to get back into it. So how about you? What have you been playing?
I've been playing a game that's just as equally, if not more, fantastic, and that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow. Awesome.
I've gotten more Jedi powers. I don't know if I'm I don't know where I am in the game, to be honest.
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell. Again, it's like sort of like Metroid style, where you have to go back. You have a new power, and you have to go back to the world, go back to another world, and enter an area you couldn't enter before.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
You like that about it? Okay.
Oh, I love that about it.
Okay.
I would say my biggest criticism of the game is just the map. I liked having the map that's like a hologram, like you have in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But you can get lost, and the map doesn't really give you any help sometimes.
Really?
You're like, where do you have to go?
Right.
So that's like my biggest criticism. Sometimes I get lost. But I love this game. I'm still in it. I haven't had a ton of time to play, but I've gotten like a half an hour here and a half an hour here. You just, again, the biggest thing is you have to find a save point. You have to find a save point. So they're sort of sporadic. So I'm playing. I want to stop, but I don't have a save point.
You need to get to that,
and
point.
I don't want to stop.
See, that's the beauty of a lot of PC games. For some reason, console games are very rigid in you can only save at these points and whatnot. PC games typically are you can just save anywhere, right? And just go to the menu, boom, save, done, right? I don't know why they don't do that for console games, especially at this point. Why can't you just go to the menu? I want to suspend my state right here and then come back to the
brings to the difficulty.
What's that?
Brings to the difficulty of the game.
Yeah, but it's the same
Because if
game
you-
on PC though. In some cases.
Well, then it makes the game on console a little bit harder.
I mean, I guess so.
Remember, if you
remember
I told you if you fall, they bring you right back to the ledge.
No, I know, but
if you get killed, you have to go back to the last save point.
Like it's not about the difficulty in this case because you're saying I am done right now, but I want to come back to my point later in the game. They should have like a suspend thing, right? I'm going to suspend it right now, and then when you get back into the game again, it kills that suspend point, so you can't just keep loading it up from that particular point. You know, you can't like save scum it, as they say, right? You can't beat the one guy, save it again. You can't beat the next guy, save it again, and then if you die at any point down the line, you would just pick it up right there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like halt your progress till you can pick the game back up again. Some games do that, but not a lot. Yeah.
Story, I will say the story, a little bit all over the place. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the end game is, mm-hmm. even though obviously I know what's going to happen.
You're going to beat the bad guy and you're going to win the day.
Well, I don't know. I think this is Star Wars. This is where you meet the bad guy and you probably die. And that's why they never heard of you in the movies.
Oh, I see.
So
Poor Cal.
Star Wars could go a little dark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see. How they, because I feel like they're going to do a Fallen Order 2, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, when did they sign that 10-year agreement with Disney? In 2012?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
Right? So I think we've had one canceled game. We've had Battlefront 1 and 2 and Jedi Fallen Order. Mm-hmm. And we'll be in 2020 at this point. So I think they got time for one more game.
Probably with the same game engine and all that to kind of speed up production. Maybe
Jedi Fallen Order in 2021.
For the PS5 and Xbox Prime?
Yeah, XP. Ooh. Yeah.
And it may be like another visuals.
It may be some mobile game with microtransactions to make some money.
No.
That's how they roll. You know that's how they roll.
No. They were doing so well, Dan.
You know that's doing so well. I'm sure. No, I think there already is a mobile game.
That kind of ties into the universe.
That ties into what they were doing. I think there was. Don't quote me on that. I could have sworn I heard something about like mobile game, but as soon as you say mobile, my mind just goes left. I don't pay attention. Mm-hmm. But I think there's another game that's not a console game that they've been working on.
All right.
So, you get any good pickups this week?
I got one pickup this week.
Okay, but it can be a good one. It can be a good one.
I was gonna do the impression of Solid Snake, but I'm gonna save everybody, or Colonel.
Oh, please, save me.
When you end up dying and he's shouting out your name. But yeah, I got the Snake Amiibo.
Okay.
The one that I couldn't find, I ended up finding on. I guess Thursday, I think, at GameStop. They happened to have some extra ones. I said, I will take that. And then they gave me one, and it was all greasy. And I'm like, can I get another one? I don't know why it was greasy, but it was greasy. Okay. And they, swapped me out for another one. I said, yeah, this is much better. Thank you.
Anybody selling, used Amiibo, out of their packages? I haven't seen it.
I've seen some people selling stuff. There's the guy at the GameStop that's right over here near me. That we were kind of having a back and forth. He's like, yeah, I got some extra Amiibo. And I'm like, hey, if you're going to sell them, we'll take them off your hands. He's yeah. So tangentially, anecdotally or whatever, I know some people that are selling them, sure.
Because it's do you want to buy it brand new and all you're going to do is tear it out of the box anyway? If you're one of those people.
Exactly. As long as it's not, busted up. And I am exactly one of those people.
Yeah.
I'll rip it right out of the box, so I don't care. If I can get it for $10 instead of $15.
I think I only have maybe 10 Amiibos still in the box. Mm-hmm. I got the anniversary. I got the Mario and Zelda anniversary editions
because they're the special ones.
Yeah, I got Zelda. No, I got Shovel Knight still in the box because you can use it in the box.
That's the only one that you can do. That's the only one,
and that was the first third-party Amiibo.
That's right.
And I got the triple pack of Splatoon when prior, it was Splatoon 1. Mm-hmm. I got the triple pack. So
Nice.
I got some good pickups this week.
Yeah, lay it down.
I got my Lukey haul. Lukey Games, baby.
Nice.
3DS Pro Pad. Mm-hmm. I got the 3DS XL Pro Pad a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I figured I'd just get the regular Pro Pad too.
Oh, I didn't know they made two.
They made two for the XL and the smaller one.
Interesting. Right. Because the new 3DS and the new 3DS XL, two different models.
Yes. Well, no. You're talking about the 3DS XL, and then you're just talking about the regular 3DS. Or the DS, honestly.
But
it can fit the
there
DS.
was a new one, or is it?
Yeah,
just
but the new
3DS
XL, the new 3DS XL is the same size as the 3DS XL.
Okay. Yes.
But
Okay.
Yeah, but this is too smaller. This is too small because I got essentially it could fit a DS. Mm-hmm. It fits a DS or a regular 3DS, not a 3DS XL.
Okay. My head is hurting right now. I think I'm more confused now than I was before, and I was already confused.
Okay. Think of it this way. Think of it this way. I got a 3DS Pro Pad that works with the DS.
Okay.
Boom. Done.
Okay.
Done.
Nice.
I got Thor: God of Thunder for the Wii. Now, why did I get the Wii version, not the Xbox version, Xbox 360 version, and PS3 version? There's an extra level for the Wii version when he's like flying in the sky. There's an extra level. Mm-hmm. So I got the Wii version. So the graphics may not be as good as the Xbox 360 or PS3, but I wanted the extra level to play.
This is tied into the movie? Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Nice.
The original movie.
Yeah.
I think. Mm-hmm. No, actually, no. It's not. It's not tied in. It's not. It came out when the movie was out, but it didn't. I don't think it tied into the movie.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I could be wrong about it, but I don't think so.
That's typically the better way to go.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of like craft your own story. It's still Thor. It's still Thor. The likeness of Hemsworth, you know.
Because the original Iron Man game was a tie into the movie, but the Thor game wasn't.
Yeah.
And then you got X-Men Mutant Academy. I got the first one for the Game Boy Color, and I got the second one for the PlayStation.
I remember owning the first one. It was okay, you know. It's a fun fighting game.
The second one a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah.
Graphic wise, I haven't played this since I was a kid, but I only played it once.
Right.
So I'm not nostalgic for it or anything like that. I forgot this came out, so when I saw it, I was like, I need to get both. I need to get all the games in the series.
Of course.
And they only had the first one without the original case, so I ended up getting the GBA one, the Game Boy Color one.
Nice. Oh, GBC. Yeah.
GBC. Yes. This game was recommended by Metal Jesus in one of his
Hidden Gems. Sure.
Old Hidden Gem videos, 3DS.
Sure.
For the DS, I got the Prince of Persia Fallen King.
I did not know that they had a Prince of Persia for the DS. I mean, it makes sense, for sure.
Didn't know either.
Do you get it at a good price? Because I think I'm going to pick this up too.
It's affordable price.
Okay.
I wouldn't say good price. Affordable price.
I understand.
Normal price. Normal price right now out there. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
And I got Batman and the coup de grace. I got Batman Return of the Joker for the NES. Has a sticker on it.
Very nice.
Has a sticker on it, but that's okay. That's okay.
That's still a little bit of a pricey game.
A little bit. I got it at a good price because of the sticker.
Yeah, and I know that this was kind of a late life cycle game for the NES. This was at the end. Pretty sure this was after the Super Nintendo came out.
But it's a good game. Good Batman game.
It's a fantastic game. Yeah. So you have those two things going for it. It wasn't I don't think it was a massive seller because of the Super Nintendo coming out. So everyone's like, NES games maybe. I think came out 91, 92. Yeah, I remember this being like really good, for sure.
So, all right, why don't we take a break? And we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's talk about the Game Award nominees. We have to get into the Game Award nominees. Everyone is talking about it. It's a point of contention for some people.
Sure. I think there's always a little bit of controversy every year.
Well, you know what the controversy every year is about? The Game Awards being in like early December and not being in January.
Well, that's the thing, yes. Like all the other awards, like the Oscars and the Grammys and the Clios and the Tonys, right? Everything is in the new year because it's supposed to be January to December. It's supposed to be January 2019 to December 2019 is the year for that thing. All right.
All right, so let's just jump into it. Well, let's start with the top indie game nominees.
Sure.
Right. So, I thought this would be because I haven't played a lot of indie games the whole time. All year.
Yeah.
So I thought this would be like a no-brainer. I thought Katana Zero. I was like, the first game that came to mind was Katana Zero. And I was like, yes, that should be, because you were all about that game.
Katana Zero is fantastic.
You were all about that game during PAX.
If a bit short.
It's not that short.
It's pretty short.
It's about 5 hours long, which is long. It's long enough for you. I mean, for an indie game, it's long enough for you to get enjoyment out of it, and we'll get DLC later on.
Well, I mean, they've been claiming there's DLC on the way ever since the game came out. I'm still waiting on that DLC, but
and then we got.
I just want more of it. Is all.
And we got. Well, if you want to talk about too short, I thought I finished the game because at one point in the game you have to make a decision. No spoilers.
Yep.
And I made a decision which was different than obviously what you made and other people made.
Yep.
And I thought the game was over. I thought I beat the game. I had to go back and make a different decision and see that
continue the story.
I can continue the story, which so now I still haven't beaten the game.
You only got another level or two, I think, after that.
I beat the next level after that, so maybe I got one more level. I
think so. Yeah.
I haven't finished it. Disco Elysium, you played at PAX also.
Yes, is adventure RPG game. Very interesting. You play as a drunken cop. You wake up hungover and you have to like figure out where you're at in this kind of like dystopian universe, and the different options that you choose, like the different dialogue options, like affect your character and give you like pluses and minuses based on things, and it kind of tells you like, oh, if you select this, you'll get this, but then maybe you'll lose a little bit of this, which I thought was kind of neat. So it looked beautiful. You know, I think it played really well.
Now, what is Baba Is You?
Oh, yeah.
What is that? I've never heard of this game.
Baba Is You. You would I think you would enjoy this game. It is a very simple conceit. Baba Is You, right? So say there's like, I think this is the best way to explain it. Baba Is You, and you will see like the first area, the black screen, Baba Is You, you're a little Baba. And then it'll say like, I don't know, like key is exit or something, right?
Okay.
And they'll have a key, right? And you can go over and pick the key up, and then it's, instead of Baba Is You, key is you, right? So you are the thing. And then you can go to the exit, and then since you are the key and the key is the exit, you'll unlock the level. So it's all these like weird like object verb type things, like, you know, there'll be like door is you or door is key, and you kind of like manipulate the game world, and you pick up different things, and you can manipulate what the objects are and do, and what you are and you do, and you just little self-contained like puzzles. It's very cute.
Okay,
yeah.
That sounds good. It looks like it looks like an Atari game.
It does, yeah. It has very like old school throwback visuals to it. But don't let that dissuade you. You know, some people may find that endearing, but man, it's wild.
No, you want to talk about wild? We got the Outer Wilds. So you're laughing because before we started the show, you thought this was the Outer World.
I did. I thought this was the Outer Worlds, and then I also had to say, isn't there a game called the Outer Lands? And there's not.
You just got this outer.
I got everything confused.
There will be an Outer Lands because that's like a sort of common name, and maybe there is some small indie game called Outer Lands at some point that didn't hit the zeitgeist.
Right. So I don't think either of us have played this game.
I have not played this game.
Yeah.
I don't even know really what this game is about. I know a lot of IGN people are hip to this game, calling it their sort of Game of the Year nominee, which is kind of interesting because I thought this next game, which is probably going to take it, is a game that I thought would crack the Game of the Year talk for a lot of people, and that is Untitled Goose Game.
Oh my God, yeah. The game is a meme, which is ridiculous. They had slides up at whatever E3 I think this last year, and it just said Untitled Goose Game because they didn't have a title for it yet. And then everyone's like, "Wow, that's awesome! That's amazing! You should make this the title of the game." And they're like, "Sure." So it's literally called Untitled Goose Game.
Nice.
And you just play as a goose and you cause havoc. Like, they give you different objectives, right? And you got to put the rake in the lake. Like, that's like the big thing that everybody talks about, like rake in the lake. And you basically just have to get around all these like people and characters and like distract them to do whatever objective it is, right? You got to throw someone in the water. You got to put a rake in a lake or whatever it is. It's crazy. It's a very good game, and I think you're right. I think it's the best out of this list for sure.
I would, if I had to vote on this list, I would give it to Katana Zero.
You would give
short
it to Katana
or
Zero?
not short? I would give it to Katana Zero because it's the game that I actually really played and really enjoyed. I watched you play Disco Elysium. I think that game is pretty good as well. I have no idea what the Outer Wilds is about.
Same, yeah.
Untitled Goose Game might as well be Goose Simulator in my view.
All right, Goose Simulator 2019.
Yeah.
I think I think it is between those two. Yeah, I think it is between those two in terms of what's going to win. But they're all pretty solid.
So I think I'm going to take it from this standpoint as we go forward, looking at different categories and nominations. I would pick Katana Zero, but I think Untitled Goose Game will win.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. We're muy simpatico.
I was
on
just
that
going
one.
to say that.
Okay. Well, I had to take the words out of your mouth.
There you go.
Let's talk about score and music. Because this one I think this one is sort of universally, I think everybody would be on the same page with this one. There would be no outcry.
Sure.
On this.
Sure. And the nominees in this case is Cadence of Hyrule, right? Which is the Crypt of the Necrodancer kind of game, right? The rhythm action game with the Zelda visuals, right?
No brainer that this would be nominated for like score and music, right? Because it's based on rhythm and music.
Right. It is a very solid game. Like everything about it is great. Death Stranding, which has an amazing soundtrack, licensed music as well as an original score.
The music I've only played like 3 hours of Death Stranding. I haven't gone back to it since Jedi Fallen Order came out, but I would say the biggest thing, I know everyone calls this a walking simulator and you hate that, but the part that hits me is when you're walking just out of the blue, you'll hit the music will cue up.
Yep.
And the music will fit whatever story
100%,
narrative
100%
that you just left to make you feel and think about, what's going on. And I was like, that's wild.
Yeah, it's very nicely done. It's very nicely done. There's Devil May Cry 5. Sure. You played that, right?
Pretty good score. More action, type of thing going
very
on.
Kind of like Heavy Rock, right?
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Also, I played. I have it on Xbox. I mean, come on. I mean, all the Disney movies are going to have like really good Disney movies or Disney tie-in. Anything Disney tie-in is going to have really good scores.
Of course. They're going to make sure. And even like
the
going
big
back
orchestra.
to the first one.
Yeah, the big orchestra type theme. So I dig that. I dig that.
And then the last one, Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Haven't played. Haven't played that yet.
So it's interesting because this was at Penny Arcade last year. And it is also in the Apple Arcade too. So it is a mobile game. I don't know if it's mobile exclusive. I think it's also on like consoles as well. But it's an action game where you're riding on a motorcycle and you have to collect hearts. So it has like a really cool visual style. The soundtrack I think is great. It is pretty solid, but it's a pretty simple conceit for what it is. You kind of run around this fantasy sci-fi track and you have to pick up like hearts. Then you get, increase your score and you have to avoid enemies and whatnot. So it's a pretty simple conceit for what it is. It's pretty solid. But I think going back to what you said about the least amount of controversy, like I think we're both in agreement that Death Stranding's soundtrack, the score, the music, and all that is just like phenomenal. And for this to win, I don't think anyone's going to be like in an uproar over it because it is really good.
I think. From little that I've already played, I think Death Stranding should win, and I think Death Stranding will win.
Right.
I don't think there's all these other games. I mean, I haven't played Cadence of Hyrule, and I haven't played Wild Hearts, but I don't think there's going to be uproar. I don't think anything can touch. From a score music standpoint, Death Stranding. I don't think any other game is on that level.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So maybe Kingdom Hearts, but I don't think Kingdom Hearts. I think Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. Do we ever know like what was in the running? Like if Death Stranding wins, we know it was like a second place. Because I think Kingdom Hearts would be sort of in that second place tier, but I don't think it. I think Death Stranding will win and should win.
Yeah, agreed. agreed.
A category I think is funny, and it's the family category, family friendly.
Yeah.
Nintendo is going to be in this category every year, but I think the funny part is that no matter who wins, Nintendo, Doug Bowser is going on stage.
Yep.
No matter who wins.
Every single game is a Nintendo game.
Luigi's Mansion 3. You could play, I guess, maybe family friendly in the sense that, you can play with other family members, so it's family friendly, and you can play with sort of with the family. So it has to be sort of multiplayer. Luigi's Mansion 3, you can play as Luigi, right? Somebody in the family can play as Luigi as you go through the levels. I'm almost done with that game, by the way. I have to get back to it. I've been doing Jedi Fallen Order, but Luigi's Mansion 3, I got like 4 more floors, and I think I beat the game.
Oh, nice.
So 13 floors.
Nice. Plus all the bonus endgame content.
Yeah, not doing that.
I think there's bonus endgame content.
Yeah, not doing that. Beat the game, get the story, done.
Sure.
Ring Fit Adventure. Co-op is a little weird because I don't think you could bring 2 ring fits together. I could be wrong about that. I haven't bought it.
Right.
But, I know you can pass your sweaty rubber ring to someone else to play second player.
It's why they make Clorox wipes, Dan. All right.
Okay. Then we got Super Mario Maker 2. Obviously,
of course.
Obviously, that's multiplayer, sort of, where you can share levels with each other, and
you can also do co-op on certain levels,
yes,
depending on how they set it up.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, kind of controversial because this game came out last year.
There's no controversy.
It came out last year.
It's from December to December. It is a year, December to December.
We're gonna touch on that when we get to the Game of the Year awards. And they got Yoshi's Crafted World, which is great, and of course you could play 2 Yoshis, and one person can gobble up one Yoshi and spit them out, throw them, or you can jump on the other person's back.
Nice.
So
yeah,
I think Smash Brothers Ultimate would probably win this category.
Oh yeah, I think it's a no-brainer with Mario Maker 2 maybe taking up the second place.
But I think I would love to see Yoshi to win this category. If Mario came out in November of last year, this wouldn't be in this category. I would.
Well, would have ended up winning last year.
It would have been in last year's category, but not for this year, not for 2019. I think I want to give some love to Yoshi's Crafted World. It's a pretty good game. Pretty good game. I would want Yoshi's Crafted World to win.
Pretty good game doesn't cut it, Dan.
Huh?
Pretty good game doesn't cut it.
It's a really good family-friendly game.
Is it better than Mario Maker? Is it better than Luigi's Mansion?
You know what?
See?
You know what?
You're
Yes.
taking a pause there.
Yes.
Yes. This man is taking a pause.
I'm going to say yes.
He's taking a pause.
And
he took a timeout, went to the sideline, regrouped, came back, and said, yes.
I had to talk to the refs.
All right.
And you know what? After you beat the game, it has a bunch of side missions that unlock.
Okay. I love extra content.
It's definitely a collectathon. So I love to talk about fighting games.
Sure.
Also, Super Smash Brothers is part of this category.
Yeah, of course.
And this is a game that I think probably is going to beat out the rest. Because you also have Dead or Alive 6. I mean, that came out, but they came out to a little fanfare. Jump Force. Terrible game.
Not good.
Terrible. No. I should have waited for a Black Friday sale.
I could have told you that, then.
I want to play as Goku. I love playing as Dragon Ball characters.
The fan service is great. It's all the Shonen Jump properties.
Not big on Jump Force. Very disappointed. Samurai Showdown, difficult game. 100% difficult game.
Yeah, but good.
The mechanics. It's great.
It's solid, and the fighting game community loves it. I don't think it has the universal appeal as some of the other games, though.
And if Smash Brothers wasn't in this category this year, hands down would have went to Mortal Kombat 11.
I think that's the only one that can really give it a run for its money, and I don't think it's going to. I think Smash is going to win it because Smash is.
I think Smash is going to win it too.
Yeah,
I think Smash is going to win that.
Smash has to win something, right? Because obviously, like you said, it came out either right before or right after the Game Awards happened. Right, they already had the nominees out. They already had the voting out. That happens now. It happens in November.
Right before Thanksgiving, I think all the nominations have to be in.
Right. So Smash
all the
would
votes,
never been able to be a part of that, but it needed to do. you know.
But let's get to the category. Let's get to the category that everybody's talking about, and that is Game of the Year. A lot of controversy on this one for a few reasons. Let's talk about the nominees. Control, Remedies Control, nominated for Game of the Year. Now, I
have not played yet.
I played maybe about an hour of it, and then I got into Link's Awakening and just never looked back. Okay, it's an okay game. Kind of twisted. Really sort of, it's definitely like horror action. It has like horror elements to it. So it's not just that's sort of like a shooter. Wasn't that well received. It was like an okay game, right? It got like maybe 7s and 8s across the board.
Wow, and it's up here for like Game of the Year. Interesting.
And it was nominated for Game of the Year. I guess more people liked it, or more outlets liked it than expected, I guess. Death Stranding nominated for Game of the Year. Now, the biggest thing about Death Stranding being nominated for Game of the Year is because Geoff Keighley, who we know sort of runs the Game Awards, he's in the game, and he has a bro fest, a bromance with Kojima.
Of course, he loves Kojima. With kind of like good reason, shows praise, and tries to get him involved in the whole events and whatever every year. Do you think there's any collusion going on here between like, oh, hey, I'm in this game, I'm going to go put it in the nominations?
I don't. I think the talk of people being concerned is valid, but I don't, and should be talked about, like we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any collusion going on anywhere.
No, because there's a body of people that get to.
He runs the Game Awards, but I don't think he gets a vote.
Right.
That's the major outlets get the vote.
Right.
And all he does is set the parameters. So, he says from December to December, all the games that came out, and here are the games. You tell me what, you pick it, and he adds them all up. He adds everything up, and then, well, not him personally, but, his team adds them up and then adds it to one of the 6 slots. The thing I don't like is that why does it have to be 6 slots for every category?
Well, sure.
Why can't it be 4? Why can't it be 5? Right? What if we only had 3 really big games that came out that year?
Well, why
do you need?
That's how the other award shows do it typically, right? Every like category has about 5 nominees. In this case, every category has 6 nominees. All right, and then that's it. I mean,
But why put a number? What if there aren't really 6 Game of the Year contenders? What if they're really only 5?
Well, what constitutes, just because it's a bad game year, doesn't mean that there's not 6 games that were the best of that year.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, because I don't know how they actually do this, but let's just say for argument's sake, they survey 40-50 outlets, major video game outlets, right? And you cast your ballot, right? And out of that, 5 games get sort of top tier status as far as, yes, these are the nominees, right?
Where that everybody was like, everyone's going to put a vote in for these games. Well, everyone has to put in. If everybody gets 1 vote and like,
well, no, it's not vote. It's. I think it's, hey, these are the nominees. Like, you put in your nominees.
Votes for the nominees. I mean, but like someone's going to say, I want to put Control on the block, and if 1,000, but what if 1,000 people put in for Control, what if 1,000 people put in for Death Stranding, and then everything else is like 200 votes?
Well, no, but I guess it's the point system where you have like, these are 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, or whatever.
Sure, or however they do it. If it's weighted so much in these like other games, that's just how it is. But it's still the best games of the year, right? Here are the top 6 games of the year. If there's a clear winner, there's a clear winner. Like in the fighting game category, Smash Brothers is pretty much the clear winner, right? In the sound design category, I think there's pretty much the clear winner of Death Stranding, right? The other games are there because you need other options.
But why shoehorn something in if it doesn't need to be there?
It's not that it's shoehorning it in. Like, these are technically the best 6 games of the year, right? Whether the bottom 3, 2, or the bottom 1 game isn't that strong is like, it is what it is. It's still, if those other 5 games didn't come out, this would be the best game of the year. This is what we got to work with.
Which isn't much, just like 2014.
I mean, sure, some years are strong, some years aren't that strong. I think it's a pretty strong year given the other nominees, which we still haven't even gotten into yet.
All right. Also controversial. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Right. Not a brand new game.
Not a new idea. Not a brand new idea.
No.
This is an old idea with a new coat of paint. Right?
And it was like a 20-year-old game at this point too.
It's still it's still an older car, just a new paint job and a new muffler.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
So they put some new things in it, new muffler, right? You put it. It's like you have a 1950 Cadillac, but they just put a new paint, new muffler, and disc drive inside.
And disc drive. Oh, it's got a CD player as opposed to an AM/FM radio. I see. It's an interesting way to put that into context, right?
So it's still the old design from the 1950s. It's still the framework.
Yeah.
Everything that was built, 60, 70 years ago is just, modernized. So it's not a brand new car, it's not the new Tesla with breakable glass windows.
Yeah. If side note, if people haven't seen the Tesla demonstration of the the armor-proof car or whatever that they had, please go watch that because it is hilarious. And he does it twice too. He throws the ball and then he throws the ball again and the windows shatter. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's supposed to be shatterproof.
I will say this though, there was, according to the Game Awards, there was enough new in Resident Evil 2 for them to say, hey, we can like throw it on the chopping block as like Game of the Year nominee, right? Is it going to win? I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, if it wins, everyone's. I think
there's going to be some division.
It's going to be a huge division. It'll be everyone's divisive on that. I'll tell you right now.
Sure.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Another very divisive game, right?
The game I never played, probably never will. I will own, but I probably will never play it or give it a good old 10 minutes.
Right, and from earlier in the year, we talked about, and the internet was like blowing up over that. This game is way too tough.
You know what?
The barrier to entry is too high.
That's a different argument than should it be nominated for Game of the Year.
Well, but I mean, that's I think why people may take a little bit of umbrage to it is that I couldn't get into this game, thus I don't think it should be nominated for Game of the Year, right? It wasn't as inclusive as some of these other games are.
Well, I think people would say, you know what, but it's still a new idea, no matter how the difficulty is.
Oh, it is.
It's a brand new car.
It is a brand new car, right? It did come out in this year. It does have some very interesting concepts.
It's just hard to drive.
It is very hard to drive.
Yes. It's a brand stick.
That's right. It's a stick-shift car, and you don't know how to drive stick.
Yeah, right.
That's fair.
But I can understand it being, if for those guys who for those people who like to drive stick, it's Game of the Year, right? It's a new.
Sure.
Okay, I get it.
Sure.
And then we have The Outer Worlds, a game that not my cup of tea.
Surprising though, because it had a really good narrative, but
true, but it's still like it's like 360 graphics. Early 360.
Oh, 100%. It needs a little bit more polish.
You want about a new coat of paint.
Yeah, and you also talked about the gunplay too, comparing it to the Call of Duty game you just came off of. It's like this doesn't match up.
That's the game I should have played first, but it would have took longer, so I would have never got to the Call of Duty. Well, essentially,
you would have probably beat it by now. It's not that long, but it is a decent campaign.
And then last but not least, Smash Brothers Ultimate. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is nominated for Game of the Year in 2019, even though this game came out in 2018. If it wins, I think this will be a bigger controversy than Resident Evil 2 or Death Stranding.
Look, it's just a little bit weird that it bleeds into a little bit of the previous year, but again, all the games that come out that we just talked about, so Terminator Resistance next year could be nominated for Game of the Year.
I don't think, no offense to Terminator, no offense to the devs who made Terminator Resistance, I don't think it'll be nominated for anything next year.
Do they have like the best of the worst?
Probably. They do have a bad game award. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, the Razzies?
The Razzies.
No. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's games or the Razzies.
The Razzies are movies.
But we can have Razzie games.
Yeah.
So let's just think about this for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Break it down.
once all the Smash Brother characters have been released, right? We got like more coming.
There's another 5. Yeah.
Another 5. But let's just say, for argument's sake, all 5 of them come out early 2020. For just argument's sake, humor me for a second. And they put out a definitive edition, because they will at some point, regardless. 2021, late 2020, when all the new consoles are out, they put out a definitive edition. Has all the new have all the characters.
Yeah.
On the box art, you know how they like to put if it's the game of the year, right? I have the Witcher definitive edition on the Switch and on PlayStation, and it has all game of the year. This is IGN, game of the year, GameSpot, game of the year, game of the year, game of the year, right? All the awards that it wins. This game could say, it'd be the only game in history to say, yeah, we got game of the year in 2018 from whatever outlet, and then game of the year in 2019. They give you game of the year 2 years in a row. It's just like the order 1886.
I was just going to say, nominated for game of the year 2016, 2017, and 2018. Is that right? Oh, no. 2015, 2016, 2017.
Only game in history.
Only game in history to ever
be
do that.
Nominated.
That's right.
For game
That's
3
right.
years in a row.
So Smash Brothers couldn't even say that. They can't even have that. They can only have back-to-back years. They could have 2018 and 2019. They can't get the 3-peat nomination.
But they can get a dual nomination for only game in history.
They get dual wins. I mean, it's a possibility. It is a fantastic game. It is a game that has very little controversy around it. Everybody loves Smash Brothers. It's an easy pop-in, pop-out game. The fan service, the love is good. The Outer Worlds, probably the weakest contender out of the 6, to be honest.
Okay, let me pose you this way. What do you think should win Game of the Year from the Game Awards out of all the games here? I swear to God, if you say Outer Worlds, I'm like stopping the podcast right now.
I just said it's the weakest of the bunch.
I know, but you like to go with the underdog sometimes.
And trust me, I do love Obsidian. They are former Black Isle devs who worked on the original Fallout, so definitely near and dear to my heart. I love the Outer Worlds, but it is a little bit rough around the edges. Smash Brothers is probably the least controversial out of this list. Sekiro is a little bit divisive. It's a game not for everybody, but it is a tight game. Resident Evil 2 is the remake. Control is a game I haven't really played yet, but you said it was like fairly weird and a pretty good game. I don't know if that's
it's a game. It's a game that you play over the break.
Right.
It's not a game that you stop and you have to play. It's a game that, when you have 2 weeks off at the end of the...
You got to take some time and go through it.
It's, again, it's a little horror, like a little horror action game, right?
I'm okay with that. Okay. Yeah. It's a brand new IP, which is interesting.
You get some force powers.
Right.
Some force powers.
Right. So we do have a couple of brand new IPs. Actually, we have a bunch of brand new IPs. Resident Evil 2 and Smash Brothers are obviously continuations. Sekiro is in the Dark Souls universe, or in that Dark Souls vein, but it is not a Souls title. But
it's a new IP.
Yes, from that same company. The Outer Worlds is essentially Fallout 5, without being actually called Fallout 5.
Sekiro and Outer Worlds sort of I'm going to say spiritual successors to games that we already have, right?
100%.
But they're both new IPs,
right?
But spiritual successors.
And then we have Death Stranding. Then we have this game, which is very divisive, and we have talked about time and time again. Does this deserve to be Game of the Year? I don't know.
I
don't know. It is definitely in Rated G's Game of the Years. I have already nominated the game even before I played it because I knew it was going to be epic. History has been made, and I still stand by that.
Dave,
I think the game is
to
great.
The fire. No. Now you jibber jabber.
I don't know, Dan. I don't know.
Feet to the fire.
I don't know.
What game do you think will win then?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Because I really don't know.
Okay. All right. So
I've been thinking about this beforehand.
I'm gonna have to make a decision and be decisive.
What would you out of these 6 games?
Out of these 6 games, I would pick Smash Brothers personally.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I would make history. It would be Game of the Year 2 years in a row.
I mean, depending on depending on the outlet.
What game I think will win?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, my honest opinion, I think it will either be Death Stranding or Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I think one of those two games will win.
I think it's between
people love Sekiro. Like people, when this game came out, this was universally loved.
Right.
Death Stranding was not universally loved.
True, but
it was all over the place.
But the outcry, does that not factor in? Does the game is too tough, and From Software comes back and says,
Dark Souls 1
for you.
Dark Souls 1 or 2, I forgot which one game of the year from a bunch of outlets back in the day.
So there is definitely some precedent,
Bloodborne was nominated for Game of the Year, and people argued that should have won Game of the Year in that year.
It was a very good game. I still can't get past the first boss.
I still can't get past the first boss either. So, I think Sekiro or Death Stranding. I think it's between those two. Control is one of those games that you talked about earlier that probably had to be nominated just because it was next in line, right? Where when he tallied all the votes or points.
Yeah, fair. I think that and the Outer Wilds, the Outer Worlds, and the Outer Wilds.
Yeah, those two games probably got nominated just because they needed to fill out 6 slots. Okay, Smash Brothers, because it's a great game and it didn't get it obviously wasn't up for nomination last year.
Right. It's got to be in the talks now.
It's got to be in the talks. Like people probably was like, no, we got to put Smash Brothers here. It feels weird to put Smash Brothers here, but we got to put Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2, I don't think will win. Honestly, just because I think too many people, it's definitely divisive in the video game world right now, like because it's not a new idea, right?
But it is up on the block though. So
it's on the block.
So you can't argue anymore. If you're on the board, you can't argue, well, I don't think this game should be in here.
Well, it's on the board, but I don't think people will actually vote for it because
they're still saying that, well, it's an old IP.
Yeah, it being on the board and it being actually voted for Game of the Year. Like if someone says, Dave, give me all of your Game of the Year nominees and put them in order.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure Resident Evil 2 or Link's Awakening, depending on who you are, would be on that list. But then I tell you got to vote for, give me your top 3 games.
Right.
Your first game, which gets all the points, 5 points, 10 points, whatever the point system is not going to be Resident Evil 2.
Probably not.
Right? It probably either won't be on the top 3 where you get, the most points, or it'll be number 3.
Yeah, it's tough.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say yes, people put it in as Game of the Year, but I don't as far as a nominee, but I don't think people will actually vote for it to win. I think Sekiro, people were all about this game. In the first half of the year, people were all about this game. They didn't give it a 10. IGN actually hasn't given a 10 out all year. This is one of the weird years when they haven't given a 10 out yet. But if you would have talked about, in June, Game of the Year, Game of the half year, everyone was on Sekiro, right? Yeah. Death Stranding, I think people are too divisive on it because they call it a walking simulator.
Some people do. Please stop calling it a walking simulator. That agitates me so much.
Okay, all right. You're
I'm triggered. I'm sorry. I'm triggered. It's 2019, and this is a triggering moment.
All right. So basically,
whether you like it or hate it, that's fine. But do not boil it down to a walking simulator.
You're not a walking simulator. You're a glorified FedEx man. So.
Listen, they made the concept of a fetch quest, which is in every damn open world game, they made that fun. All right? Point blank. But if you want to put my feet to the fire, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that's the one that's going to win. And that's what I honestly think.
I think it's going to be Sekiro.
Ooh, interesting.
A game that I haven't played, I'm probably never going to play.
But based on the reception, based on the reception,
and the other nominees,
right? And the other nominees that's going up against.
I think Sekiro is going to win, but I would give it to Smash Brothers because I think that's the best. That's the best game out of all the games nominated.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's pivot. Woo, man, we almost got
break that.
We got into it. We
did.
But we almost got into it. I should say. All right. Let me take your feet away from the fire.
Oh, please do. It's a little warm.
So let's pivot. Let's talk about this all digital future. All right, that's coming. That's looming over our heads. And Stadia, it's here. It's in the hands of people who are early adopters and spent the money to get the Founders Edition. And even if you did spend the money to get the Founders Edition, you probably still didn't get your controller and codes. But the people who did, this isn't reviewing well. People are giving this 5s and 6 and 4s. It's between 4, 5, and 6.
That sounds pretty accurate.
People think Stadia, as today, right now, of this recording, people think it sucks. It's a good idea, obviously. It's an idea that probably will work.
The execution is half baked.
The execution, but we've had OnLive, we've had what was the Gaikai? Like we've had
networks and
other services
things like this before. We have
last gen that didn't work.
We have it in Japan on the Switch. You can stream Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I
don't know if you can do that anymore, but they were timed.
Oh, maybe, yeah. But that's the only one I think that I know that worked out pretty well because Japan has a good infrastructure for that. We don't have that here in the U.S. It's very up and down.
Well, people who scored it, people who reviewed it in major cities like New York and L.A., gave it so much higher scores because they had great internet.
Right.
But when they
so the lag is fairly low for what it is.
They scored it high when they were at work, but when they go home or if they're on the street or on the bus, they scored it pretty low. Right? Because this is not something you could score across the board. I mean, this is something where you could play anywhere, right? They're telling you could just pick up and play anywhere.
Anywhere is in quotes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like one of the things that people were noting is that the data that ends up getting pulled down super high, like gigs and gigs of data,
20 gigs an hour. Okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. 20 gigs an hour. All right. So if you're someone who doesn't have like the best internet plan, you're probably gonna play like an hour of Stadia.
Right? Like you're gonna play this on your like Pixel 3.
The only phone it works on.
Right. You're gonna try and play this on your Pixel 3 with your little Bluetooth controller. It's not gonna happen.
They're glorified alpha. And it's not even a beta. This is a glorified alpha for people who actually got it. Because some people still who pre-ordered still didn't get their controllers and codes, and it's cumbersome to set up because you need your phone to do anything. Even if you're playing on your computer or your TV, you need your phone. So if you're going to buy games, you need your phone. You want to set this up, you need your phone.
Interesting.
So everything is based on your phone, which is so weird. And again, you're buying the game, but you're buying the game for the right to stream it. You don't own it. You can't download it anywhere. I'm going to say, and I didn't even put this in the notes. Some people, not all people, some people saying their little Chromecast overheating.
Oh boy, yeah,
it's overheating the back of their TV.
Yeah, it's so like bad. Like we're looking at a cutscene from Mortal Kombat 11 right now, and man, it looks bad. It's stuttering like crazy. Like it's not good.
You can get your butt handed to you if you're playing against somebody keyboard and mouse.
Right? Yeah, I don't know, man.
As a matter of fact, you can get your butt handed to you if you're playing with somebody with a controller, playing on a console.
Yeah. So this was never for us. This is definitely not something that we're gonna jump into anytime soon.
It's not FUBU, Forest Bias.
It's not Forest Bias. It is definitely not FUBU in any way, shape, or form. There are better options out there, like Microsoft's Game Pass and all that.
Project xCloud. I think they wanted to be.
Well, xCloud is the direct competitor, but like Games Pass is kind of an a la carte, not an a la carte thing, but like a service, and you can just get those games, download those games, play those games. We have no interest in playing Mortal Kombat on the go, right? And if we did, we could just play it on the Switch.
Yeah, but the Switch version's kind of.
Well, no, but at least like it's smooth, Yeah. The graphics aren't that great, but the frame rate's okay.
I think I may pick up Games Pass over Black Friday weekend. Why? Because I'm thinking I'm going to pick up the Xbox One SAD. It's $150.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it somewhere else, right? So whenever I go over to that person's house, I can play Xbox One.
Yep.
Right, so I don't have to bring disc. I can leave the control over there, and I can have the Games Pass.
So on top of all the like Stadia just announced, launched, all that, they're like the service isn't that great. We know this. Here's 10 more games to the initial launch lineup, right? Which is fine. It's a nice list, but your service sucks.
Well, you get Attack on Titan 2, The Final Battle. You get Farming Simulator.
Oh, you know I want to play that streaming down.
Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's actually a very good game.
Football Manager 2020. Grid 2019 was a pretty good game.
Yeah. Grid's fun.
Rage 2, Trials Rising, and Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Mm-hmm. So there's like now 22 games in total that are out if you have the Founders Edition and you were lucky enough to have yours shipped to you, but the service still sucks.
So the controller, people aren't so fond of the controller.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I've read somewhere that they've gone to say it's just a step up over the Ouya controller, which is a low bar.
If you remember that, Phil Council.
I know. And the only good thing about the controller, it has the Konami code in the back.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a nice little touch.
But I don't think that's something that's going to save it. We're not going to buy it.
No.
So no, we're not going to buy this. We're not going to be in this. But as a side note, another competitor has entered the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Amazon has talked about having their streaming service.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think, as much as Google gives up on a lot of their projects, Amazon still has Twitch.
Yeah.
So they can integrate sort of streaming with Twitch, where you can stream anywhere because you could play it anywhere. You can, right? So I think they were waiting to see how things progress. Mm-hmm. And taking a model where they can, come out and have their own streaming service at some point and integrate it to Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, they are the right company to get their feet wet in this new kind of game streaming thing because they have that streaming platform already. It is always, and in the case of Google Stadia, like it's very evident that the network is the bottleneck, right? The infrastructure is the bottleneck. And that's never going to change until we improve the infrastructure. And that's not on, well, it's partially on Google because they tried to put Google Fiber out there, but that never like came to be. Like you said, like they just drop projects.
How about Google Glass?
Yeah, they just drop projects. Although I think that's coming back.
Well, it'll come back eventually, right?
I think it is, yeah.
But the controller, people just don't seem to like that controller.
No, and that's like the second part. Like if it doesn't feel good in the hands, like you got to make a version 2. You got to make a revision of that and put that out.
So let's pivot. Let's go from a controller that's so far universally not liked if you actually got it,
right?
to a controller that people think is pretty good, and that is the DualShock controller. Now, I really like the DualShock 4.
DualShock 4 is fantastic.
They introduced the sort of like the touchpad. I use it more so now to type in stuff. I just use my finger to swipe and use the cursor.
Yeah.
But we got some patents for the DualShock, which I'm going to coin DualShock 5.
Oh, Arya, another bold claim from like D. Robinson over here.
Listen. I think we're pretty good in predictions. You got the Switch Lite.
I got it half right.
You get it half right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're right. It's going to be the Xbox Prime because we already have the Xbox Elite.
That's right.
And I got the PS5 correct. There were rumors that it was going to be like the Panther or something, right? It's going to be another P word.
Probably the code name of the dev kit, if anything.
That's
what that was.
The PlayStation Python or whatever.
PlayStation Python. Oh my God.
I coined it the 5. Okay, so I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going on a limb. It's going to be the DualShock 5. I'm just saying.
Bold claims over here.
Thank you. So the patent looks like it's not going to be too far away from the DualShock 4. We still have the touchpad.
Yep.
It looks a little bit more bulkier, so it fits in your hands a little bit better than the DualShock 4.
Little more squat, I think.
Yeah. Well, the touchpad is a little bit more smaller, right? Because it looks like it's a little bit more. It's like a long rectangle on DualShock 4. It looks like it's maybe a shorter rectangle, right, on a DualShock 5. You still have the twin sticks in the same place. You have a built-in mic and speaker. They kept the speaker and the built-in mic.
Yeah,
and they got rid of the light bar. So, which is kind of a shame because when the light bar first came out, people were annoyed about it because it would kill the battery life of the DualShock 4 because it was so bright. They put out a patch later on that dimmed the light a little bit, and you can turn it off.
Right.
However, it does sort of track your movement when you have PlayStation VR. So they sort of future-proofed it because they knew they were putting out PlayStation VR in conjunction with the PlayStation 4, right? So
they definitely have something planned. Either there's new tech in this controller which doesn't need the light bar, or they have like something else planned that we don't even know.
And the color scheme was sort of cool too because it sort of blinked and went red if it was dying.
Yep. It was a nice little bit, you know.
Nice little touch to that.
Yeah, like, you know, the 360 had that in a way with their little ring on the controller. It told you what controller number you were on there, and, you know, when it was syncing, it would kind of spin around. It would go red if there was issues with it. Yeah, so, I mean, these are patents, right?
These are all patents filed by Sony.
Yeah, design mock-ups and whatnot. So
something similar.
Things could change. Yeah,
things could change, and I'm sure we'll get something similar to this. Mm-hmm. But it looks, you know, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
100%.
Just iterate on it.
100%. This is the same controller since the PlayStation 1. They kept making it better and better and better. Well, except for the PS3. We ain't gonna talk about the 6Xs.
Let's stick with sort of the PlayStation realm. Amy Hennig, she's known to be a PlayStation person. I mean, she's been making PlayStation games since like the original PlayStation.
Yeah,
and she had
most famous for the Uncharted series, I think.
Well, the biggest series that she's known for is the Uncharted series 1, 2, and 3. Little involvement in 4. They used some of her ideas, but didn't use her story. I loved Uncharted 4. Was my game of the year that year.
It was our game of the year.
Yeah, it was our game of the year.
That game was fantastic.
I fought tooth and nail for that.
Hey,
almost died. Almost died that year.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We were. That was probably the least contentious year.
Okay, and I almost died. So that should tell you something.
Well,
that should tell you something.
Listen. We fight hard for our games here at Rated G.
Okay. All right. So Amy Hennig's starting a new studio. She forms new interactive division of Skydance Media. So definitely her game is going to be more narrative based, obviously.
Yeah.
I take it. I'm gonna take it from this standpoint. If I'm Sony, I kind of want to invest in one of her, whatever her major project is. Because when you're a new studio, obviously you're gonna have a major project that you're working on that's going to be your bread and butter, and then you're going to have smaller projects that you're going to put out because you want to you need to make money, you need to have some money, right? So if I'm Sony, I definitely want to invest, just like they invested in Kojima and Death Stranding to make that sort of a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
I would invest in Amy Hennig to bring in a game that's probably not going to come out until mid next generation, like 2023 at some point, right?
Well, 100% agreed. Like, that's Sony has said during the PlayStation 4 life cycle that we're focused on single player narrative driven games. Obviously Amy Hennig is like all about that, although Skydance is more of a movie production company, right? They've had their hands in Star Trek, the Mission Impossible franchise, and sadly Terminator Dark Fate. So I wonder how they're going to bring I wonder how they're going to bring like games to light, right? Because it looks like they want to do like mixed media stuff and whatnot. Hopefully they do a more traditional style.
Well, that works for her, right? Because I mean, she worked for EA.
That's true.
To work on a Star Wars game that didn't come to light.
I know.
That was canceled. So
13. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God! If you say that again, you keep mixing it up.
I know.
That's just a good name though for a game.
13, it is 13.
But it makes sense for her where. I mean, actually, she's been in gaming since the Atari.
Oh, no way!
I forgot about that. Yeah, she's been in the. So it makes sense.
Did you do the? Did you do the storyline for Adventure?
Probably.
All right, here's what we're gonna have. All right, there's gonna be a dot. There's gonna be the hero, and there's gonna be a dragon. You got to get a key, and everyone's like, mind blown.
Anyway, so she. So it makes sense that she would want to do. Sort of gaming, non-gaming, just in case things happen, right? She's been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah. She's a veteran, a pro.
So I again, if I'm Sony, I would want to invest in whatever big gaming project that she has going on.
Yeah. So here's the question: what would you want to see out of an Amy Hennig penned video game?
Well, that's easy. we got Mass Effect from the Knights of the Old Republic, right? Like after that, they couldn't obviously they lost the Star Wars license and they made Mass Effect in the vein of Knights of the Old Republic. I would like to see, since we had a Star Wars game with her vision and story behind it, right? I want to see sort of like a space adventure game in that vein. I want to see what I want to see what her vision was for Star Wars. And we can just call it something else.
Sure. I love kind of being a space ranger running around the galaxy. You put a good story behind it, like The Outer Worlds. Put a good story behind it, like Jedi Fallen Order. Right? It's a solid experience. Yeah. I get behind that. All right. Before we get into our next story, we have our November contest going on right now. We are giving away one copy of the aforementioned Jedi Fallen Order, your choice for PS4 or Xbox One. The secret code this week is Stormtrooper. Send us that code via DM, private message us on social media, or email us at info@ratedgforgamers.com for entry. Note that you can enter once per episode. We will be dropping codes all November long. Also, for an additional entry, head on over to our Twitter @RatedGForGamers and like our contest post, retweet, and make sure you are following us. Good luck to all who enters.
Man, okay. I listen, I love this game, so I'm hyping this up. Okay, all right. You need to like it, follow us, do whatever you got to do, you know? Go to Brooklyn and go get me a cheesecake, just like the guys that are making a band. So give me a sugar cookie. Go do whatever you got to do to get this game, because this is a great game.
How? Anyway.
I think it's a great game. I really do.
No, I get that. I
was watching Making It a Band the other night. Give me a break.
Okay.
The things he did.
Dan and his cheesecakes.
All right. Just call me Dan Diddy.
Dan Diddy. D Diddy.
Just call me Classic Diddy.
D Diddy. Oh boy.
Well, you know what? You know what game could be one of our contest giveaways at some point? Saints Row 5.
Oh, what about Saints Row 5?
Well, they announced that they will announce the next Saints Row game at some point in 2020. And obviously, it has to be, Saints Row 5.
Sure.
Unless they do like a definitive edition where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the DLC into
one. Right. Oh, just a big Saints Row
collection
or whatever collection. Yeah.
Right.
So the last thing out of the studio was Agents of Mayhem in 2017, if I remember correctly, which was a little bit different. A bunch of different characters. I think the lead character of Saints Row 4 was like one of the guys you could play as in Agents of Mayhem. It did okay, not great. Saints Row games in general, they started off as GTA clones, right? Now they've grown
over the top. More. It was like over the top GTA.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like the first one was pretty cut and dry, and then they just went bananas. So I think this is pretty much a no-brainer, right? I mean, why would you now put out a new Saints Row game?
Well, the question is, will it come out on all platforms? So will it come out on the PS5, XP, and Switch?
I definitely think it's going to be a next-gen title. I don't know if it's going to come out on the Switch right away.
You think it'd be a launch title for next gen?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, we don't know how long they've been working on it, so
That's true. I'd say like 2021.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say they're gonna announce it at some point, maybe E3, right?
Yeah. E3 is the spot for that.
And I think it'll be a next gen console for 2020. I think it's gonna be. I think they want to get into hype. If you're gonna get an XP, you're gonna get a PS5, buy the Saints Row game, regardless if it's a collection or the next or 5. I think they want to jump on the hype band.
Yeah.
On the bandwagon, right?
I mean, it's solid. I'm in if they end up putting this game out, whether it's a launch title or not. Saints Row is up there. It's a good experience.
And lastly, Black Friday. If you're listening to this, Black Friday is almost here. It's a couple of days away.
Yep.
And we finally got GameStop's Black Friday circular. Finally. They always put it out last. We get Target, we get Best Buy, we get Walmart a couple of days and like a couple of weeks in advance. Even their Cyber Monday deals, like we get in advance, right?
Yep.
The GameStop is always last. And GameStop traditionally has been their Black Friday kind of sucks.
Not
right?
so great.
Not so great. But they're doing. I think it's fantastic, right? I think I'm gonna. Usually I go to Target to get some of my deals, but I think I'm coming to the Best Buy. GameStop to get some of these deals now. Yeah, I think I am. So let's start off. If you're buying a Switch Lite or you want to buy a regular Switch, the OG Switch, not the new one with the new battery, with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe code.
Yep.
You will get a free $25 gift coupon.
Nice.
To use in GameStop.
Nice.
This is the only store I can see that's giving something for the Switch Lite, because Switch Lite's not going to be discounted. It just came out 2 months ago. 3 months ago.
Well, the coupon applies to both.
Yes.
Yeah, which is nice.
But if you buy a Switch Lite, which honestly it's a better deal than buying the OG Switch with the
ideally,
this is last year's sort of. They want to get rid of they want to get rid of whatever inventory of the OG Switch, right?
Right.
So I would say get the Switch Lite. It's better value, $200, and use that $25 gift card to buy a game. Buy one of these games. Let's talk about it. Well, you don't even have to necessarily buy it for the Switch. You could buy it for anything. Let's talk about Fallout 76. It's discounted at $12. Still too much money. Anthem, $5.
Yep.
That's a great price. I wish I would have waited. I spent like $12-14 for it.
I spent about double that.
I want to get Borderlands 3, but I didn't want to pay $60 because I'm not a big Borderlands fan, but I will get it for $30.
Half price is,
half price not bad. Half price is not bad. If you need a Netflix machine, okay, or you just want to play regular Xbox One games, you don't care if it's like in 4K, up-res into 4K, you can get the used old school beta machine Xbox One for $100. Pre-owned. Okay. Well, I say used, but okay, potato, pre-owned.
Sure.
I personally want an Xbox, a PS4 Slim, but I want the white one. Just because
to match the Xbox,
because I have I have the Xbox One S, which is only white, doesn't come in any other color.
Sure.
I don't see it anywhere. You can only get the PS4 Pro white with a coupon, $25. But you can save $100 if you get a Slim. It does come with a digital code for God of War, Game of the Year last year, Horizon Zero Dawn, Game of the Year nominee, fantastic, and The Last of Us remastered. So that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
You get 50% off a bunch of games like WWE 2K20 for $27.99. Still too much money. The game is broken. But this is where I'm going.
Game's a wreck.
This is where I'm going crazy. Okay. Well, Days Gone, definitely. If it's at $20 right now, GameStop, pick that up. Definitely worth it. I think wasn't a $60 game. That's more of a $40 game in my view. But now for a $20 game, great pickup. I held out. I'm gonna get all these games. I'm gonna get Medieval, $20. I'm gonna get Judgment, $30. I'm gonna get Catherine Full Body at $30.
I hipped you to that game.
You did hit me to that game.
Back when it was on the 360. Weird ass game, but very good.
The game that I think will win Game of the Year at the Game Awards, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, $27.99.
Yep, jump in on that. Less than half price.
Yeah, and Code Vein, a game that that was shown at E3 on the Xbox stage like 2 years ago, I believe, or something like that. I thought it was going to be Xbox exclusive, but they just sort of won the right to show it off. I want to get it. $39.99, still pretty pricey. I know it just came out. I think it came out in September. Still pretty pricey. I kind of may pass on that. Wait for that to be $20 at some point. Maybe next Black Friday it'll be $10 or something along those lines. And Dave, you must do this. Because I'm going to do it.
All right, I'm writing it down, Dan. Let me know.
Write this down, okay? Just so you don't forget. Spider-Man Game of the Year Edition has all the DLC. Has all the DLC. $20.
I still haven't played that game yet, even though you nominated it last year for Game of the Year.
$20.
I'm very hype on that. I know it's going to be a good game. I know I'm going to enjoy it. $20 for everything? I'm in. Need
for Speed Heat, $39.99.
Sure. Yeah.
I hear nothing but good things about this game. It goes back to the Need for Speed roots. No microtransactions.
Yep.
$39.99, good price.
It's got some nice visuals to it. Very like 1980s Miami. So I'm about that.
Diablo 3, the Eternal collection, $16.99. That's a good price. Jump Force is $20. Still think that's overpriced.
Right.
What's a game? That's a $10 game.
Yeah, we talked about it during the Game Awards. It's definitely the weakest of the nominees for the fighting game.
And if you like jump scares and spooky games, Resident Evil 2 Remake, $20, great price.
That you got to pick up. That came out this year, and it's less than half price. Buy that game.
Get into VR. You must get into VR. You can get $100 off any of the bundles. So they have a bundle where you have the PlayStation camera, and you get sort of like a demo game, and we get both demo games, VR Worlds, and then you have the demo for Astrobot, Resident Evil 7, Skyrim, and Everybody's Golf. And then you have the bundle with 2 Move controllers.
Yep.
With Everybody's Golf and Blood and Truth, which Blood and Truth seems pretty good. I want to pick that up. I want to know how much that costs.
Brand new. I think it was Blood and Truth was kind of what I think came out of that that VR London Heist game.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's funny. I had some friends over last night, and they haven't really got into VR that much at all. And I'm like, they saw Tetris, and they're like, oh, "We gotta play." I'm like, "I got you." So we played some Tetris, we played some Wipeout. They were all about it, And my friend's fiance was like, "We got to get this game. We got to get this whole setup." I'm like, "Yeah, do it."
Wait for Black Friday.
Wait till Black Friday.
And go to GameStop.
Yeah, sales are going to be good.
Devil May Cry 5, $20. Definitely get that game. I did not know this had a physical edition, separate physical edition. That's Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the Master Edition. Now, I don't know if that comes with the original Monster Hunter Worlds game and the DLC, or is this just the DLC by itself?
I think it's just the DLC by itself.
It's $39. Well, it's $60.
Is?
Well, it's $39.99 on Black Friday, but $60 regularly. So I don't know about this. I wonder what's in it. So I would pick it up.
Right.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, $14, $14.99. Concrete Genie.
I was just looking at that.
$20. Pick that up. You can play that game in VR if you want. I know you would.
You have to.
This game talks about, it gets into, I thought it was just a painting game, but it gets into sort of bullying, and not even just bullying, exploring the bully's past to see why the bully is a bully, right?
Interesting.
So I think that it gets a little deep in that one. I'm going to get back to that as soon as I finish Jedi Fallen Order. Don't want to get to the the FedEx Simulator.
Oh boy, here we go.
Injustice 2 Legendary Edition. It comes with all the DLC, even Ninja Turtles and Hellboy. $14.99. I think that's a great pickup. And I'm definitely getting Little Big Planet 3 for $10 because I almost bought Little Big Planet 3 for the PS4 a bunch of times at $20, and now it's $10. So I'm glad I waited. And all the exclusives, all Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, Bloodborne, Persona 5, God of War, Uncharted, Lost Legacy, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Last of Us, all $10. Great pickups. I am picking up the Xbox One sad, all digital. Okay, $1.50.
Yeah. It comes with 3 games digitally too, I guess, right? Sea of Thieves, Fortnite, and Minecraft.
I'm not going to play any of them.
Well,
if I pick,
it's interesting that it comes with Fortnite because Fortnite's a free download.
Well, I'm sure it comes with coins, the in-game currency.
The currency, yeah. Probably a little something in there too. But looks like all the accessories are on sale too, which is great. Controllers on sale. Xbox Live and Game Pass are on sale. That's pretty good. Save $10 on Xbox Gold for a 3-month membership.
Kind of sad that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order not on sale.
I know,
but if you buy it, you get $15 Fandango movie tickets.
Well, you can use that to see the Rise of Skywalker.
There you go. That works.
That's perfect. So I get a free movie out of it. That's fine by me. That's basically saving $15 on the game because I was going to see Star Wars anyway. How could you not?
Something that I actually caught my attention was the travel cases. So if you want to travel with your Xbox One and your PlayStation, you're gonna get like $150, $120 off. So it's $200 and $180. Because it comes with the monitor and all that stuff and the hookups.
Who's gonna travel with this thing? Because it's still got to be plugged in. It needs power.
Well, listen. We go to PAX. People who go to PAX, right?
Yeah, you hook it up to your TV.
People who go to PAX want to have it. Who knows?
I guess so. I don't know.
In the Xbox section, Far Cry New Dawn, $14.99. Definitely worth that price right there. I would pick that up. Just Cause 4, $20. Oh my god! Well, Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition, $20 too. Yeah. That's all worth it. And of course, this wouldn't be GameStop Circular without all their knickknacks and toys and all the Think Geek stuff,
which there are a ton.
So I'm not going to get into all that. You can look at that yourself if you look at the Circular. You get up to 50% off a lot of Switch games, right? You can get Ghostbusters. That's $20.
Yeah, do not sleep on the Nintendo games because they never go on sale.
The Witcher Complete Series, $49.99, so it's only $10 off. Mm-hmm. You can get Just Dance 2020 for $24.99.
Yeah. Oh well, let's.
I wonder if they have the Wii version. I can go pick that up.
Maybe. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, $20.
I slept on that game. You put me onto that game.
I know it's good. It's good. Super Monkey Ball is half price.
I was just about to say Super Monkey Ball. I'm going to pick that up for $29.99.
Yeah, man, it's great.
And all the Lego games are on sale for about $20. So if you have kids and they like Lego games, you get them all for $20. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to take advantage of the sort of the pre-owned stuff. Buy two, get one free. So always remember when you buy two, get one free. Whatever the cheapest game is the one you get for free. So make sure they're all around the same price.
Yep.
I definitely want to do that. And all the refurbished models are on sale. And if you're looking for a Wii U, because it's an underrated console, you can get it for $80. Mm-hmm. And a Vita $100.
Yeah, not bad. I do need a Vita in my collection.
So maybe pick it up for $100.
Yeah, not bad.
So I would take a look at I would give a serious look at GameStop because they have a lot of good games on sale.
Yeah. So basically, you ruin my bank account even more by going over this.
I think I'm gonna go over budget.
Yeah, going over this GameStop.
I'm gonna go over budget.
2019. I have a list. I'm ready to go. I'm all set. I know what I want. So yeah, I'm just gonna wake up nice and early on that Friday. Gonna have some nice breakfast and just boom on the internet. And my stuff is done. I'll put down my phone.
Not for GameStop, because GameStop is doorbuster sales.
Some of them are. Yeah, some of them are. Obviously, I'm not gonna go out for the doorbuster sales. It's just not worth it.
I will be there bright.
All right, good on you.
And early in the second wave of people, because I ain't waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Good on you. Yeah, and that about does it. We are closing the circular on episode 194. And we want to thank you guys for sticking with us and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, like with our contest that we have going on right now for Jedi Fallen Order, and we know that you do, you can do so on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.